of the day. This is the last one. Just to give you a refresh. Canada 7, Netherlands 10. Then a nip and tuck game, which New Zealand really should have gone on to win, but they didn't. 13-14, the final result. Kazakhstan 1, Spain 14. It was as one-sided as it looks. This one should be, well, potentially the game of the day. New Zealand and France was a good game. Quality wasn't that high, but it did have a very dramatic finish. Now, the crowd were not even countenance what might happen if they don't go through in this one. Classification is certainly not in their realm. They're thinking about progression. Of course they are, into the last 8. So far for the Hungarians, a sizable 35-4. Humiliating, if you like, 35-4 win over Colombia. And then the Italians got the better of them, but only by 1 goal. It was a 10-9, real classic between those two here. And then they managed to see off Canada by 11 goals to 7. So they've had one incredibly comfortable win. They've had one very tight win, and they've had one narrow loss, which is why they find themselves in the crossover stage. Argentina were overwhelmed by the Netherlands by 29 goals to 6, and then kept South Africa very tight, won by 7 goals to 6, and then got overwhelmed by the USA in their 3rd game. So if you're doing a little compare and contrast with those scores, you'd say that Hungary will come into this one as red-hot favourites. They should be encouraged and spurred on by this majority of home crowd. We'll have a South African official, Dion Willis, and we'll have Maro Savanovic of Croatia. So, for the game that we're about to see, Argentina will be the away team, and Hungary will be the home team. Hungary will be with the white caps, Argentina with the blue. The great thing from a Hungarian point of view is you see the Argentine flag come in. It's all of their players have scored. They've scored multiple goals as well, so they're in really good form coming into this. Naya Stegmaier is the first of the Argentine goalies we will see. She will have the #1 cap. Lucia Ruiz is #2. Cecilia Leonard, particularly Spanish-sounding name, but she's #3 for Argentina. Again, another name of European or North American overtones, I'd say. Ashley Hatcher is #4. Ludmila Iani, #5 for Argentina. Julieta Oriel will follow Lara Romano. #8 is Carla Comba. Isabel Riley is the #9, so one ahead of them. They're breaking them up relatively slowly. There's Isabel Riley up next. And in her wake will come Anna Agnesina. Ake Galupo is #11. Dana Shofsky will be #12. And the other goalie they could choose from today, wearing #13, is Lola Canales. Head coach of the Argentine team is Guillermo Setti. That is he. This is by Fabio Lombardi and Juan Policarpo. Right, stand by for a roar. It's not a packed stadium by any means, like it has been on previous evenings when it's been a late game at 9 o'clock, so a Sunday tea time-ish, a bit later. And it stands starting to fill up a little bit, which is plenty of empty seats, which there haven't been in most of the Hungarian games up to this stage, but I think they'll start to fill, and it will certainly be noisy. Adina Ganjol will be number 1. She is the goalie who they haven't favoured. Actually, they've gone with Olda Magyari. You'll see her later. Dorothea Szilágyi is number 2. 8 goals for her in the competition so far. Vanda Valier, number 3. Greta Gurasati as the number 4 cap for Hungary tonight. Susanna Mate is number 5. All of these have multiple goals. Rebecca Parks, she has 5 in her time up there in the pool. Jordine Mahier is number 7. Number 8 is Rita Estefli, their leading scorer with 9. Dora Lemeta is number 9. 10, Tessa Rybanska. Went back to Limita, she's their left-handed shooter. They only have the one. You see, that is she. Camilla Farago is number 11 for Hungary. Just 2 more to come. Christina Garda is number 12. Players played all but 5 and a bit minutes of the campaign so far is Olda Magyari. She is the younger of the 2 goalies. In fact, she's among the youngest on the team. 3 born in 2000. There's the coach, Attila Bairo, and we are getting ready next to hear the national anthem. So, in order, it will be Argentina and then Hungary, and we are something like 5 minutes away from the start.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the national anthem of Hungary. Hölgyeim és uraim, énekeljük el együtt a magyar himnuszt.
They love it. And why wouldn't they? It's their anthem, they're at home, and there are high expectations of this team going quite a way in this competition. Both their men and their women. Their men have qualified as of right for the quarterfinals. The women have to get there by virtue of this crossover game. They have enough firepower to believe they can do this without too much difficulty. They won't be taking Argentina for granted, of course they won't, but there's plenty of experience in there. And a little sprinkle of youth just to give them a nod to the future, like, for example, Farago winning 11. But yes, definitely 30 years of age brings bags of talent and experience to the arena. As Silla Faro, their coach. The setting sun is certainly going down, so we'll be covering much of this ball by the time it ends. We're not quite in twilight time yet, but it's early start. So fourth last time for Hungary, and they'd love to be on the podium. Well, they'd love to win it. I think chance of them beating the USA might be fairly slim, but they have been world champions on 2 occasions. For Argentina, that's their life, including that youngster getting a first taste of World Championship action. So, yeah. Yanni. There is Guillermo Setti, who's the Argentine coach. So we know 3 of the teams through to the quarterfinal stage. We will discover in the next hour and 10 minutes or thereabouts who will join the Dutch, the French, and the Spanish. Taking round to 6:30 local time, so we are ready for the starting 6 to plunge into the pool. Let's see which goalkeeper Hungary and Argentina have selected. The white for Hungary and blue for Argentina. There they are, looking for the nod. In you go. Have been there for quite a while. Looks like Hungary going to go with Adina Cancel as their opener. So for one cap. And, just getting herself there. That's confirmation. She's at one end. I think they've gone with the number 1 at the other end, which will be Naya Stegmaier. Right, we are underway. Last game of the day, last of the crossover games. First possession brings a huge roar, because of course it's Hungary who have the ball. Rest of the sprints won. Often off the first sprint, they don't score. But they'd love to get a good start with Rabanska. Looks for the option, looking again for the option with Valier. Good rotation, but is there a shot? There is a shot, but it's off the bar and didn't get a touch on the way. So again, it's quite interesting how many times from the sprint the first 30 seconds yields nothing. It's happened again in this one. Where can Argentina hurt Hungary in this one? Because there's quite a disparity between, you think, the quality in the pool, but can they step up today with Ashley Hatcher, wearing number 4. Julieta Oriel. Well, just slipped away. It was a nice idea, and nearly worked for Carla Comba, but not well. Rita Estefani. Rybanska working in close. There's a lot of submerging going on there, and there will be an exclusion straight away. So Leonard goes, and as Leonard goes, the ball goes into the net, and Hungary, a minute and 17 in. See Rybanska open the scoring for Hungary. They're on the board within the first 2 minutes. As you probably know, in Hungary, they reverse the name, so you'll hear some of the announcements saying Rybanska Natasha. Obviously for the international audience, most of you will know its first name and surname, but that's how it's done in Hungary. Argentina trying to find a way to get close. They're not close enough, and that means it's got to be thrown away. It's good work. Both around the perimeter in the center from Hungary, not allowing them to get into anywhere close to that 2-meter zone. Well, Valley has it. They're going to lose a player. They are. Argentina lose one, and as soon as they lose one, Hungary score. Bit of a pattern emerging here. Rita Estefani gets the second for Hungary. And, both of them occurred just, and you'll see again here, just on the left of your picture, as the Argentine player is swimming away to go into the exclusion zone. So as she does that, the ball goes into the net. So both goals scored. In effect, 6 on 5. Argentina cannot afford to let the home nation have that their advantage. It's with Oriel. Again, having to work from massively deep. The shot clock is disappearing like it's going out of fashion. Well, it was okay. Not a bad little attempt, that, from a range where you wouldn't have thought that Adina Ganji will get beaten, but she nearly was. In fact, she palmed it onto the post. It might just have been sneaking in. Oh, a bit of a stinger for Ganjel. The other end, that one is also projected over the top of the goal. Dice this time for here. With Hatcher. It's funny when you do the Argentine team, there's 3 very Western-sounding names in there. Ashley Hatcher and Isabel Riley and Cecilia Leonard. Hungary going to lose. Anna Agnesina. That sounds like it could be a Hungarian name, but it's on the Argentine team. Oh, good palm. Good palm. Very solid by Adina Ganjel. I should get both palms to that very well. The one palm on the right-hand side very nicely to that. There's an extra 20-second shot clock coming now, of which they've used a fair proportion of it already. Can't shoot. Just being prevented from doing so by Szilagyi. 3 seconds and a reset of 20. And they're going to lose. Is it Valley's going? No, it's number 7. It's Mahia. Mahia goes to 6 on 5. They haven't had too many of these. In fact, they haven't had any yet. Now they do, and somehow, like a spinning top, Ganjel manages to prevent that. Fighting away past her, and it stays at 2-0. Quick break here for the Hungarians. Valley. This is a lovely setup move. Doesn't have the end result, though. It would have looked immaculate had it gone in. But Stegmaier Has made another important save. Stays at 2-0. With Leonard. Look how far out she is. Look how little time there is left. Only 10 seconds. That's good. That was a good pass. She wasn't able to turn, and that's down to just over 5 and down to 3. And is there a shot coming? Gonna have to be pretty quick if it's coming, and it ain't gonna happen right now. It's another turnover. Another turnover foul by Lupo. Now putting it right into the 2-meter area for the shot, and that may well result in a penalty for, in fact it does result in a penalty for Hungary. So 3-0, it could be in a matter of seconds. Players never agree with those decisions, but it was absolutely spot on. And it's going to be Farago up against Stegmaier for 3-0. Wait for the referee's whistle. She can take the shot, and although she got a piece of it, I think, certainly went the right way. She might have deflected it, but there's enough pace and enough force on it from Camilla Farago to get her first goal in the game, and 3 for Hungary. Did she get a touch on that? I think she just got a little bit. Let's have a look on that angle. Maybe not. Right into the corner. He's happy. And Hungary rings around the Alfred Stadium. Well, it's hosted all the big fancy events, European Championships. It's not the venue now for swimming, but it was for many years. So that's that wonderful Duna Arena now stages the, did stage here, swimming events. Garda. Already Hungary are using the depth of their bench because they feel they can. Lemita. Mate. It's going to be fouled by Mahia. So that will allow Argentina to set things up. But not from there. And again, looking across, quick glance at the shot clock says they've got 14 and they've not made any progress yet. Ruiz. A splash in the face for her troubles. Look how deep they are now. Getting even deeper, and that's going to be no chance to get a shot away here at all. A combination of lack of construction from Argentina, also brilliant perimeter play by Hungary, who may get another here. Will get another here from Greta Gurasati. They love that, and why wouldn't they? 4-0 Hungary. Very easy. Showed a couple of times and then bounced it off the surface into the corner. Nothing that Stegmaier could do about that. All looking pretty straightforward for the Hungarians so far. Not really tested. Argentina have wasted numerous 30-second shot clocks, and they will get, they won't get the ball back here. There will be, I'm saying there will be an exclusion. Is there an exclusion? No, timeout has been called. There is an exclusion, and there's a timeout as well, being called by Argentina. So let's hear what Guillermo Setti has to say to his team. Can he get them moving?
Salí a los palos, así nosotros veis. No está ganando, está marcando por adelante. Salgamos a los palos, venite para acá y hagamos una acción de 4 o 5 adentro. Vamos 4-2, tuvimos 2 hombres más, muchachos. Chica, perdón, tuvimos 2 hombres más. Vamos 1. Vamos a 1, vamos a 2. Hacemos pasaje de 4 a 3 con la 11. ¿Está bien? De 4 a 3 con la 11. ¿Listo? Anda 5. Anda adentro del palo negativo. ¡Ana! ¡Ana!
Seems quite relaxed, doesn't he? Considering his team really have not got out of first gear so far. Well, they've got the player advantage with Limiter being given a 20-second exclusion. That's why he called it. Thinks he can set the play with that 6-on-5. Ruiz, if you throw it away like that, you can't. You really can't. Garda has it back for Hungary, and all the things that they talked about came to nothing on that 20-second play. Every time they're just putting it into that area, just to the right of the goal as the goalie looks out, as we look to the left. And invariably, there's a player like Gurizati. Sometimes it's not here. There's always a player set for the shot. Nice save by Stegmaier. The shot came from Mate. Got an extra 20 seconds to do it all again. Garda. So shot made from Mate here. No Garda. Down it comes. And off the frame of the goal. And that's going to be Argentine ball. As we enter the last minute of the first quarter. 1-0 does not really give the true story. Hungary have been so much more dominant than that. It's with Romano. They'll go. That's the problem. Back they will go. I could have said numerous times in this. The problem is the forward they need to go. And that was, well, shot over sheer desperation from Ruiz. Didn't see any other option. She pretty much didn't have any. So she'll have to come. Angel has nobody to give it to at the moment, so she's wasting a lot of time, but we've still got 15, and they won't need all of those. Oh, it's a bounce shot off the surface, which goes way over top of the Argentina net. Argentina will have the last possession of this quarter. Now, can they even get it in the Hungary half? Shot clock, game clock, almost identical, which means 7.4 remaining. That's another errant pass. Giving it back to Hungary, who just have a long-range punt. There's much else they could do with it. And Hungary are easily stepping in to the quarterfinal. Yeah, the coaching team of Argentina have a lot of work to do, a lot of words to impart. Hungary lead at the end of 8 minutes, that is, by 4-0. Don't think the stats are going to make very good reading for Argentina. Argentina can have a think about how they can improve. There's a lot of improvement to be made. Hungary, however, more of the same is really what's required for their coach and for this massively partisan crowd. Goals from Gurizati, from Kestefli, from Rybanska and Farago so far. Only 3 shots, I make it, on the Gangel net so far, all of which he saved. Slightly busy at the other end for Stegmaier. Yeah, he had a relatively low-key timeout. Not much ranting and raving, but he's obviously getting frustrated that his team aren't quite doing what they want. What he wants them to do. The problem has actually been scoring goals. He scored 16 in 3. 4 out of 11 from Hungary today. shot efficiency could be better, should be better. 1 out of 1 penalty shot converted. Well, still smiles from Cecilia Leonard. Now, the next thing for them will be to try and win this second quarter, make it competitive. Already given themselves a huge job to do. Referees today, Don Willis and Maro Savanovic, standing by to let things get underway, and the sprint can commence. Argentina will not win that one either. It's going to be Hungarian ball to start things off with Mate. Look around to her, looking to the right to see who she might give it to. Garda is the option. Garda might be the shot option as well. Not yet, it's not. We're running out of a bit of time. Garda keeps putting it back over there, but she's not pulling the Argentine defense out of position. That's good work. That's very credible. I want to say something positive about Argentina. That was very good defensive work that time, because just kept rotating, then they were not budging. They wouldn't yield to allow them an easy look at goal. Ashley Hatcher. On his way to Cecilia Leonard, who shoots and scores. What a good goal that was. That's come out of absolutely nowhere. Cecilia Leonard with a pulverizing shot right into the corner. First goal in the game, both for her and Argentina. And that was a cracker. It really was. And that's better from a neutral's point of view. Try and make a match of this. Garda, they'll be in the minority in this place, but get a bit more competitive. And to be fair, defensively, they've started very strong. That was a little bit too strong, unfortunately. They're going to lose a player, and that's a 6-on-5 coming up for Hungary. But look, even with the ones they've got, they're keeping it right on the perimeter, not allowing them to swim in to get the shot away. They are getting a tad closer now, they do, and that's on the top of the net. Rebecca Parks could not convert. Well, the transformation of this Argentina team. Only stage of the second, they're defensively good, and that's a very nice stop by Stegmaier. So it's not all Hungary in this period so far. Well, that's going to be a foul, definitely. Actually, he pulled her out of position. She was trying to get to it. Ski. 8 seconds left on the shot clock. Can Comba do something with it? Ruiz can't do anything with it either, and it will arrive back quite gratefully to Angel. But that scoreline was 4-0 Hungary. It's 4-1 Argentina with that one goal, and that's in the corner. Camila Farago, her second of the night, and that 4-goal cushion is restored for the home team. Right off the post, out of the range of the goalie, just snuck over. We will have the video assistant referee to judge on things as of knockout rounds. Leonard held down by Farago. Gets it away. Now, is the left-handed shooter able to do anything with it? Not quite yet. That's okay. Although the crowd loved the save. Referee's going to give that ball back to Argentina. Oriel. Comba. Ryszkowski. And there's the shot clock. It's getting low. Like the sun getting a little bit too low from their point of view. Not going to be a shot coming in here if they're not careful. And there's going to be exclusion for Hungary. So who's going this time? It is Farrago who's going to make tracks, and there's the second one for Argentina. And hello, hello. Where's this Argentina suddenly come from? It's the one we did not see in the first 8 minutes. I guess Kowski gets one back for her. And then it's got one before. And it's got a slight transformation in this game in the second quarter. Yeah. It's like he scored it himself. I just thought, you know, on the basis of what we've seen from the first few games, that there was something more to come from them. And now they seem to be finding it. Garda. And defensively, they've been really good in this second quarter so far. The Hungarians have had to shoot from pretty much long range and had to pass it around. They did that time, and that's got them on their feet. Was it Gesefli? No, it was Zelaji who came in with that. Oh, from a pretty acute angle, from quite a way out too. Look at that. Now she had a player in the way. She had Leonard to get past, and she managed it. So it's 6-2. Quality has certainly risen in this second quarter on both sides, particularly from the Argentines. The exclusion for Zelaji, that's her second, is it? No, it's her first. Ariel. Chance for the shot. Oh, back of the frame. Within millimeters of making that number 3. That was very close. Good aim. And, well, there was the palm. 55 remaining in the second. 2 yellow cards now for Leonard. And that's a big worry. One of their key players is going to be sitting it out for a while. And while she sets it out, another goal is registered by Dorothea Zelaji. She always has that expression, doesn't she? Never really seems to change when the ball is passed. So double figures for Zelaji in this World Championships. That was the attempt of the post. And there was the goal, which gets them in raptures. 3:40 in the second quarter as we work our way towards half-time. Gianni for Argentina. Archer tries to find a way, somebody with a blue cap, and unfortunately it falls to an opposite number, literally. Gurasati, Michelin has gone on the play. Referee is going to exclude one of the Argentines, and that is Isabel Riley. There's a turnover, and Argentina have it back. So Hungary not making the most of that 6-on-5. Swing back they have to with Robanska. That's Iani. They're in the number 5 cap. What kind of angle has she got? That's a lovely pass. Is there a finish? No, she plays pass straight. And the shot straight into the body of Edina Gangel. Referee spotted a bit of dunking, shall we say, of the donut of one of the Argentine players. So that means they get possession. And they have 5 seconds on the shot clock. So plenty of time to work it around. And foul from the Hungarians. Very persistently fouling because the referee will dispatch them. It's a lot of whistles because they keep fouling Well, they do stop the play, and that's actually very average from Argentina. It's going to be exclusion for the Argentines now. There's a protest, but won't matter, Giulietta. Mario, you're going. Stefli sets a sight, and then much further in, Gurasati says, I'll take over from here, and plants it into the bottom corner as the goalie looks. And that expression, I know she's got a gum shield in, so it's difficult to change the expression, but rarely changes from Stegmaier. And Gurasati gets her second, so she matches with Farago and with Szilagyi now. All of them got two. And, scoreline is 8-2. Ashley Hatcher. Oh, that came out of nothing. But it won't count. So it'll remain 8-2. Stefli one-on-one, should score, does score. Hat trick on the way, surely for her. That is only two, but she's joined Szilagyi, Gurasati, and Farago on 2 goals. Everybody getting in on a piece of the action tonight as they prepare themselves for a quarter-final meeting. One-on-one. And I think the Argentine goalie knew what was coming next. She pulled to the center, give herself as much room to defend as possible, but knocks herself for now. Hungary back in the groove, back in that territory we saw from in the first. Now Argentina looking for a third. That will be blocked. Blocked pretty comfortably too by Rybanska. And it's an Argentine ball for another 17. In fact, it isn't. It's going to be a penalty shot for Ashley Hatcher. Penalty shot for Hatcher. Chance to put Argentina within 6. No. Home crowd rather enjoyed that. He, however, did not. Last minute before we reach half-time, and that's nicely done. Trying to swim back is Rebecca Parks, and that will mean exclusion, and that will also mean that's 6 on 5 resulting. So an easy pickings for Natasha Rybanska, and now she joins the 2 club. We've got 5 players on 2 in terms of total of goals in the tournament. She moves to 9. But that's the kind of feed you want. And you've got that player advantage. They obviously couldn't mark her tightly enough. And all she had to do is redirect. And that's precisely what happened. 10-2. Argentina have that little purple patch where they got it back to a respectable scoreline, but it's not happening now. This might, though, be a goal. Oh, good stop. Really good stop. Now, here comes the ricochet. He's back with Bacigalupo. And here comes, oh, let's say swim away. Oh, she's right on top of her to prevent her from doing so. But she has a player who's anticipated, and that player is going to pop it in as easy like. First of the hat-trick scorers for Hungary tonight is Dorothea Szilagyi. $11 goals in total, 3 tonight. And they've come to be entertained with the Hungarian crowd, and they are being fully entertained by their women tonight. Argentina would love to get a little breather, which we'll get in a few seconds. They might get one more shot away here if they're quick. No, not quite quick enough. Well, a lot more goals in that one. 4-0 first period. Goals coming in plenty in the second. And as a man who doesn't have much of a job to do, he does have quite a job to do in what remains of this one. What's the answer, coach? It's Hungary 11, Argentina 2 after 2. Well, there was a period within that period where Argentina were doing some really good defensive work. Didn't last very long. That's the problem. They only conceded 4 in the first, and it looked like they were going to keep them to similar numbers in the second, but once the defense stopped being quite as sound and became a bit more brittle, the Hungarians took advantage. Stats are going to look a bit more impressive when we see them on the screen than they were after the first. That was a lovely goal, really lovely goal. And too many things for the Argentines to get excited about, but Cecilia Leonard's goal and Dana Cherkovsky's goal at least give them some hope and some reason to be cheerful. And that was an absolute bullet from Szilárd right into the corner. That was a placement from Gurasati. And 11-2. 7-2 second period for the Hungarians. And the mic really whipping them up into a frenzy. Don't need to be, really. 52% shot efficiency, 11 out of 21. Argentina's nothing to write home about. Did have a penalty shot, saved. And we had a penalty shot, scored. Maybe it gives you a little nuance of the difference between the two teams tonight. Now, Hungary could change goalkeepers at this stage. Are they going to? There's the personal fouls. Anybody in trouble? Yes, Cecilia Leonard's on 2. Nobody on the Hungarian side's on 2, so no concerns in that respect. Oh, he's fighting with the PA, is the Argentine coach, hopefully getting his message across. That he will use, I'm sure, the whole of his bench, try and give some of the youngsters a bit more ball time. There's certainly inevitability to be this way this game is heading. It's inexorably towards the home nation right now. Still some smiles. They enjoy being here. They've had to work hard to get here. Chances are negligible, I'd say, for them really to make this competitive. Although, so there were just little spasms, little flashes of it in period 2, but it didn't amount to much. Right, sprint number 3 as we enter period number 3. As soon as the ball is touched, the clock will start. And it is Hungarian ball. Surprise, surprise. Gurasati picks a spot, scores straight away, I think. Well, she thought she had. They thought she had. I think, are they going to go and check it? Well, look at the two referees and they say no. They're happy not to go and examine it, I think, or are they? They look at each other, going, should we go and have a look at that? Well, they're looking back at the timekeeper's table saying, should we go and have a look at that? Well, they're not going to, or are they? Yes, they are. Here you go. They are going to look at it. There was interesting communication on that because the two referees were looking at each other, go, should we go have a look at that? And they couldn't agree. And then they're looking back at the timekeeper's table, which has all the statistical information and also the replay. And eventually they went, okay, we better go and do that. So here we go. I think this might be certainly the first one with me. Our first VAR goal check in the game between Hungary and Argentina. It certainly wasn't one in the previous game. I don't know whether there's any in the first two games, but this is the first one I've seen. And it is a goal. Now, we didn't see the VAR on screen. So here's the shot. Now watch, watch, watch. Oh, it's well over. I thought in real time it was well over, but it took a long time for them to decide. Well, it was pretty blatant, I thought, even with the naked eye. And it took a long time for the officials to go and look at that. Now, what's happening here? The coaching staff of Argentina. Referee's now talking to the timekeepers, talking to the video judge. Well, decided, goal's been given. Not quite sure what the hold-up is here. Well, they're not being held up anymore. We're going to get this game back underway. And so now attacking the goal to our right, Argentina. All the way through there. It was a curious one because they I was just watching the two referees look at each other and go, well, should we not? They're indicating, let's go and look at the video to each other, but they couldn't actually decide whether to do it. And eventually they did. We got the right result. Which, from the home fans' point of view, is another goal for Hungary. Yeah, 12-2 to the good. 7:02 remaining in the third. That took a long time to get that sorted. With Ruiz. Right forward to the players under a bit of pressure. Nicely done by Cecilia Leonard there. She didn't have too many options. The only option really was to shoot. And she did. 6 in the tournament, 2 tonight for Cecilia Leonard. A little bit more creativity in that kind of direction and what remains. Look at that. She didn't have an option. She was dunked. She was submerged. She came to the top of the water, to the surface, and took the shot. Just not enough of those from their point of view. Here's Valier. Tossing it around. They'll wait, they'll wait, they'll wait, they'll wait. 11 seconds on the shot clock. Needs to come pretty soon. And they might lose it. But they might well lose the shot clock as well. Yeah, pretty tame in the end from Mate. And ball is back with Argentina. Who's close enough to give her an option? It's Leonard. Leonard will back up. A blind pass, not what was required at all. Straight to Lee Meter. Meter will come forward. This furthest advance of the Hungarians is Valier right now. And Valier will shoot, surely. She waits and waits and waits, and then she plants it exactly where she wants it to be, which is into the corner of the net. And Danda Valier. And another for Hungary, her first in the game. Once she had pulled the goalie out of position. Look, she's trying to read her intention. She's gone right to that left-hand post. And she was not much of a way she could cover the rest of that goal. So that's Hungary's number 13. 10-goal cushion now for Hungary. So there's ever really a chance of a comeback from Argentina. They'll have possession through Iani. Valley has just been sent to the exclusion area for 20 seconds. Leonard. Good for her to get a hat-trick. It might be coming here. Oh, good save. Just in the process of saying here it comes, and that was a wonderful position. Wasn't the most glamorous of saves, but it was effective. Valley comes out of the exclusion zone, gives the ball to Gurusati, who just hops it over the shoulder of Stegmaier. Number 4 for Gurusati. She's thoroughly enjoying her night, thoroughly enjoying seeing what she's doing. Number 14. That was beautifully done. Yeah, they loved it. Anybody who's a connoisseur of water polo rather enjoyed that. With Leonard. Back to Leonard again. They know how dangerous she is. That's why they're being so physical all over her. She's a good ball carrier and a good distributor of the ball as well, but she can't do much when that happens. Gurusati, what a night she's having. What a night she's having. And she's got more potentially coming here. Last 15 on the shot clock. So still plenty of time for Garda. What's the referee see? There's an exclusion for Iani. And another goal for Hungary. Limita goes on the scoreboard to join pretty much all of her other colleagues. Singh has not scored so far. There's a few. Mate hasn't, Parks hasn't, Mahia hasn't, and Garda hasn't, but everybody else has at least one, sometimes 3. And in the case of Gurusati, 4. 15-3. We're still only halfway through the 3rd period. So 12 minutes to go yet. Foul called on. Was it Martin? Yeah, foul call, and that will result in a penalty as well. So here comes the hat-trick goal scorer, potentially anyway. There you go. It is 3 for number 3. I'm seeing the Argentine flag too much tonight. There it is, waving for Cecilia Leonard. They missed a penalty earlier on, but that one was put very accurately right into the corner. But Hungary will not be holding back. They'll be looking for some more. Every opportunity, every possibility. Another one's coming. Take that. That was, who else? Gurusati with 5 now. 5 out of 6. She's having one of those nights where everything is going right. She cannot seem to miss. 5 out of 6 for Gurusati, I think, already. With plenty of time in the game left, I think we can work out, I'll have a fair idea who might, just potentially might, be the player of the match. It's with Leonard. The only real shining light, I'm afraid, from an Argentine point of view in the game. Goalie's done okay. But she has at least contributed. She contributed 3 of the 4 that Argentina have scored. Ooh, that came off the frame. And no touch from the goalie, so it will not be a 20-second reset. 3:01 remaining. There's Farago. Looking for another option, maybe to have a quick long punt. Or to do some nice dramatic goals is what they're looking for. Every possibility, another one's coming here. At bottom left-hand corner. It was just open for a second there. And the doors immediately closed. 16-4. Who wants it? Anybody wants it? And they wasted about half their shot clock just distributing that ball. 2:18. Comba. Well, this is given a chance for the whole of the Argentine lineup to be used now. What has Farago got? Farago only has one intention. She's going to go coast to coast. She's going to go in and she's going to shoot and she's going to hit the post. Crowd were expectant. They thought that was going to lodge in the back of the net, but ill-directed. Well, that seems to be the only player really creating anything at this stage, and there she is again, but under pressure, so they're realizing she has the ball. Nobody else can do anything, and she doesn't have the ball. Nobody else is doing anything. There's going to be exclusion for Farago. It's a second, I think. Comba. Back around to Comba again. No, too many white caps in there. 3.6 seconds. Need a shot. Need it quick. Need it now. And that's not going to count. I don't think it's going to count. Oh, it is going to count. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It was right on the hooter, and the goal will count. He was questioning it. Everybody's looking around, and Carla Comba will get that goal. Now, it was right on the buzzer. A little deflection. We knew it had crossed the line, but it was a question of whether that shot was taken prior to the hooter or not. That's what they've decided. It was perfectly legitimate. And that will be another goal to Argentina. Now, Garda for Hungary. Everybody right in the centre. Well, yeah, plenty of players with blue caps, none with a white cap. At the last minute of the third. Kind of a little bit more competitive. Argentina have held in quite nicely the last few minutes. They're creating a few things. With Chicalupo. Keep the ball. They'll keep the ball with 6 seconds. Oh, they did keep the ball. Now they've managed to give it away again. Defensive work by the home team. This will be the last offense for them in this quarter, and they make it count. Camila Farago is the third player to get to 3 goals. Three out of 5 for Camila Farago, and Zalaji has a hat-trick, and as we mentioned, Kurosati is just running away with the stats here, 5 out of 6. So between them, they have 11 of the 17 goals Hungary have scored so far. That's 13 of this period. Needs to be a long ranger here, I think. That's all she's got on. She's gone, well, yeah. I don't want to question somebody with the experience of Ashley Hatcher, but I thought the only option on was for the shoe there. She didn't. Back to a colleague, and it all rather fizzled out. So, 17 goals to 5, 6 to 3 in that period. 4-0, 7-2, and 6-3. All looking very comfortable in the round of 16. Quarterfinals await Hungary, who lead by 17 goals to 5. You could actually make quite a decent show reel of Argentina from this, to be honest. Really weird. Even though they've been heavily outshot, heavily outfought, the scoreline would suggest it has been quite one-sided affair. There have been little flickers. But the problem is, not enough of them. Not regularly. So there is the stats readouts, 17 and 19, so that shot efficiency is getting higher. Argentina's is looking much better at 24. And penalty shots, they have 1 out of 2, and the team have 1 out of 1. So we are ready for the 4th and final quarter here on Margaret Island. Just trying to get the crowd wrapped up and whipped up into a frenzy again. Ball placed for the sprint. Don't think he's listening to music. No, he's not. Could be, but it's not. And comes down from the referee, and the clock will start when the ball is touched. Here's Mate, so all 4 sprints won by the home team. Can they immediately convert on this one? Certainly looking to, right in the breadbasket, but not where they needed it to be. So it will dribble its way back to Stegmaier. Look up and say, right, okay, let's put it in the middle of the pool and you work it forward from here if you can. Hatcher. Iani. No, she's being pretty much prevented from making any further progress by Rebecca Parks. And we're in there. 2-meter exclusions over too long, I think. Now, Valier has a chance. Oh, this is going to be a lovely goal if it's finished off. No, it isn't. Ready for superlatives there, and it didn't quite happen. Until when everything is crisp and quick and incisive. That was until the very last moment. So that would have been one of those show reel goals. But it wasn't to be on this occasion. They've changed goalie. Canales is in for this quarter for Argentina. They'll look for a way for Hungary. There's going to be an exclusion, which means almost certainly there'll be a goal, but it hits the frame and drops back. So it is Iani who's gone to sit it out for 20 seconds. She'll be back in pretty soon. They'll make a substitution, so she won't be. Putting another player in instead. 6 minutes remaining in the game. And another shot from distance with not a great deal of ferocity behind it. Indeed, a great deal of accuracy. This kind of rudimentary save that goalies love to make. There will be a turnover. Argentina will get it forward, but again, too quickly. There's nobody really there. The ball's going from one end to the other, a pretty rapid succession. Try and farm it out for a long-range punt, potentially. No. It's a little bit scrappy right now. Last couple of minutes, actually since the restart. Not been the greatest. That'll be why. We haven't had a goal yet. But there could be one here. There could be a penalty here. There will be a penalty here. The penalty will be taken by Ashley Hatcher. He's going to hand those duties over to Nancy Galupo to get her first of the game. Referee doesn't want Mate to come too close. He says she is too close. And Nancy Galupo has a chance to get number 6 for Argentina. Referee's ready. Shooter is ready. Goalie is ready. Puts it wide. Oh dear. Oh dear. It was a nice gesture to give her the chance of taking it, but she, I'm afraid, muffed her lines on that one. And now they're scoring for fun, as they have been pretty much all the way through the game. They're loving it. It will get tougher. It'll get a lot tougher as they get further into this tournament, but they're picking their spots. Right into the corner. Even the best goalies just cannot quite get their palms on it. And Mate scores, which means we only have 2 Hungarians who've not scored now. Garda and Mahir. All the others have registered at least one, some considerably more than one. 39. With Romano. And that's just thrown away. It's gone into the bit behind the goal. So, of course, it's a 50-metre pool where it's at its full extent. Being adapted for water polo, so it's a lot less in terms of length. Now, crowd want a shot. Crowd want them to shoot properly, like that. Just like that, Susanna Mate. Oh, I've seen people celebrate with more enthusiasm than that, I've got to be honest. 5 goals in the tournament. Looks like she's angry. What's she got to be angry about? Beautiful pass. Just absolutely no celebration. Kind of bizarre, but celebrate in different ways. Goalies celebrate saves very often. .403. Ball back with Mate. It's too much doubt Gurasati will be the player of the game. I'd be absolutely astonished if she's not. Here's a good chance for another one, and then immediately submerged is Kesthethley. Well, legitimately and legally, say the officials, so no need for anything else to happen. Turnover foul by the number 8. That's what the referees have determined. The ball was with Argentina not for a very long time. Mate, that's a great pass. Wonderful pass. Is there a wonderful goal? There will be. It's Baliek. And 2 from 2 for her. And Hungary bring up goal number 20. Well, there have been some very good performances tonight. Very good. And some of the ball rotation gives you an idea that, well, it could be right in the mix at the end here. And there's some other teams who aren't quite there in quality terms. And I think Hungary might be a step ahead of a few of the key ones. That's a wonderful save. Brilliant save by Magyari, who's now between the posts for the Hungarians. She timed her leap to perfection. Stephanie has 2, looking for a hat-trick goal. It's not going to happen here. It might happen for Valier. That's hers. Looking pretty good. Well, scoreline obviously suggests that, but it's the manner in which, for the most part, they've put this game together. They've been a little lull occasionally, but when they've been on it, they really have been on it. 2:32 remaining in the game. They're looking in prime form now. That's right for Cecilia Leonard. She scored 3, and she's been by far away their best player, and sets that one up for Ashley Hatcher. Yeah, they haven't had a lot to celebrate, and a lot to get excited about, but that's a nice feed from Cecilia Leonard to Ashley Hatcher. And Argentina have number 6. They've not been the worst team that we've seen today by some way. Mate, now she would love, well, hopefully she'd love a hat-trick. She didn't give me that impression with her facial expression, but I'm sure she's enjoying it really. Let's see if she gets a hat-trick and smiles. Garda, right into the centre. That could well be another penalty. It is going to be another penalty, isn't it? Yeah, I believe so. For, oh, in fact, it's going to be from Mejia. So, no, they didn't give it, but they did give him, obviously, another yellow card, another 20. Garda. And they can rotate it all they like for the next few seconds. They won't need to, because that's a decisive shot from Zalagi, and she goes to 4 now. Just one behind Gurasati. 12 in total for the tournament. That's 22 for Hungary. Last minute and 30. Argentina's hopes of making through to the quarterfinals went long ago in this one. Party piece time. (22-6). Slow possession. 20 seconds. They won't need all of 20 seconds, I'll tell you that much. They're going to go much quicker than that. Well, it looked like they would. Garda. And there's that shot. Still 6 seconds left on the shot clock. Everybody getting in on a piece of the act. That is Christina Garda's first goal. I take it as probably a family member. Just one, in fact 2 now. Hungarians have not got a goal to show for their efforts. That will be Hungary's 23rd of the night. 23-6 it is. Well, they'll be looking forward to a lot more nights like that at the Alfred Hayos swimming complex. There's a timeout. Timeout been called, and is, well, that's weird. There's timeout up on the board, but timeout is not happening. That's rather strange. The timer is happening, but they've already started the clock on the board, so you're going to have to reset that. Yeah, he's confused. I'm confused because it's already appeared on the board. The time was running before the timeout actually started, so there's a mistake there. You need to reset it. It's running down. Or did he not call the timeout at all? Yeah, nobody knows really, do they? Timeout is running down. Did anybody call a timeout? And if so, why is it not happening? And if they didn't, why is the clock running down? That's a bizarre one. That is a bizarre one. The clock was running down for second Argentine timeout. Now, he looks like a man to me who didn't call one, or if he did. All right, what do you say, ref? Total and utter confusion. We are going to have a timeout then. We are going to have a timeout. Yeah, I'm scratching my head on that. I'm trying to work out what the referee... Is the referee saying you did call a timeout and the coach is saying I didn't call a timeout? Hey, well, let's hear from him anyway.
Vas a 2, vas a 2, vas a 3, vas a 1, ¿ok? 4. Vamos adentro. Okay.
Vamos adentro.
Escuchá. Quedan 43. Consumamos todo el tiempo y repleguemos el contragolpe. Que no nos hagan un gol más. Si no tenemos que tirar, no tiramos, pero vamos agresivos sobre la bola.
Okay. Termina en 23.
Vamos agresivos sobre la bola. ¿Listo? Sí. Ey, escúchame. Vos pasá corto. Y fíjate si podemos jugar una bola al palo. Rápido, rápido. Si no, le tiene que quedar el tiro a Nana, le tiene que dar el tiro a Nana, le tiene que quedar el tiro a Luchi. ¿Está bien? ¿Está bien? Le tiene que dar el tiro a Nana o a Luchi. ¿Está bien?
Va a entrar recto.
Va a entrar recto. Hey, si correte de palo, a ver si podemos jugar ahí.
All fun and games. What I can't work out is, did he call the timeout or not call the timeout? Because somebody on the timekeeper's bench thought he did. They started the timekeeper's clock, and no timeout was called by the referee. So, in the grand scheme of things, it means nothing. It's just a nice little adjunct to what we see tonight. 34 and counting left in the game. All the Polo fans, let me know via social media exactly what was going on there, because I am perplexed. Not by the scoreline, that's been very clear-cut. It has been all Hungary. They'll get one more shot in, potentially, before this game is done. Will it be Zalaji with it? It's going to come back around to her, I think. Yeah, slightly off balance, but she'll get a shot. No, she won't. She won't get a shot away. Interception by Argentina, and that is going to run down the clock. That one goes wide. And a very, very professional night by Hungary against Argentina. And a very, very good performance by Greta Gurasati. She was so good. Not to say the others weren't, but she had a little patch in that game where she was just doing magical things. Hungary progress to the last 8. After overwhelming Argentina by 23 goals to 6. Well, if I had a hat, I won't need to eat it, because Gurasati is absolutely nailed on for player of the match. If not, it is such an injustice, because she was so good. She had a little portion of that game where everything revolved around her. Give her the final stats. 61% they got it up to in the end, did Hungary. 22 for Argentina. Flare shots from the depth of the bench, 7 of 11. Yeah, I tell you what, that is almost a perfect way to go into the last 8 from a Hungarian point of view. Personal fouls about the same. Nobody got excluded in the end. It's physical without being overly so. And it has been Hungary's hour or so. Argentina have been very much support players, though. They've had their fans here. They have not had much to cheer. Well, I don't think too many teams would like to play Hungary in this kind of form. Yeah, of course, there are things they can tighten up on. They're pretty close to pushing the top 4 here. It would not come as any surprise if on next Sunday afternoon they're in a medal contention of some description. Yeah, like what I saw, and I think the crowd like what they saw as well from their team. Very, very good. Nice job, coach. Nice job, team. In the end, only 2 players didn't score goals. It better be. It is Greta Gurasati. I would be putting an appeal in if it wasn't, because she was immense. I gave her a bit of a rest late on, not surprisingly, because even though she didn't have to do too much to change the course of the game, what she did within the game was terrific. So it's the men tomorrow. Hungary won't have to worry about the crossover because they are through to the quarterfinals. We will have the crossover games here again in Budapest tomorrow. Which of the 4 teams will progress into the last 8. Only the group winners, remember, go straight through to the quarters. We'll have 4 games for you tomorrow. They haven't really been upset today. The New Zealand-France game was the tightest, and that went to a penalty shootout, but the other 3 were relatively one-sided. The last 2 most definitely were. And these are the games tomorrow. Montenegro, Japan will set things underway 2 o'clock. 3:30, Georgia, Croatia. Italy, Australia should be a really good game, that. That should be a really good game at 5. Looking forward to that. And then South Africa, USA. South Africa kind of there by default. Those are the 4 games to end off tomorrow and the quarterfinals. We'll see you for action on Monday. Bye-bye. Okay, how long, do you know how long the circuit's going to be over? All right, okay, well, that's fine, that's long enough.